Can I build the LEGO Minecraft skeleton dungeon without instructions? Well, these people seem to think so. So let's find out. This set comes in at 364 pieces and has a lot of fun mechanics to it that I'm excited to explore. Like the spinning skeleton spawner, a secret spinning door with a skeleton behind it, and 2 awesome stalactites in the dripstone cave section that can actually fall down. Let's get started by emptying out all this LEGO and seeing what we have to work with. But before then, it wouldn't be instructionless if we had these, so goodbye. There's always a few stragglers that stick to the bag. Ah, the sweet sound of LEGO hitting a hard surface. It's almost as nostalgic as this little C418 cat record disc. Anyways, let's get all this LEGO over here and start organizing our workspace. Wow, this is a lot of work, but I think there's an easier way to do this. If I just click over here and click this and put a bunch of 9s in here. Yeah, now we're cooking. And with no AI telling me what to do, I'm going to start with my favorite part of any LEGO set, the little LEGO minifigures. I especially like the way they designed this little miner. They gave him like a little reflective helmet, but still not resistant to fall damage. And now on to the other minifigures that come in this set. The thought of building a giant LEGO Minecraft skeleton army brings a smile to my face, and with 3 of them included in this set, plus the one from my panda video I made earlier, that brings my army to a total of 4 skeletons. And with all the minifigures assembled, let's get started on building the base. This looks pretty good, and I've added this little space here for the Minecraft spawner mechanism to go. Let's move on to the waterfall next. Now that I have this waterfall section completed, I can't help but notice how much I really like the look of these blue transparent water bricks. If I had to pick a brick of the build, it would be this brick. Alright, and moving on. It's time to figure out how to build this skeleton mob spawner. Now that I've figured out how to build the case for the skeleton spawner, now I need to figure out how to make the little skeleton head inside it rotate, like the actual ones that you see in Minecraft. And just at that moment, my grade 5 education came back to me, specifically the part where we learned about pulleys and gears. I wonder if this set has any gears included in it. You bet it does. That means with these 2 gears, I'll be able to connect those 2 red Technic pieces together at a 90-degree angle and allow me to spin the spawner. And this was very satisfying to figure out without instructions. But we're not out of the mine yet, as this build still has a few more moving pieces to it. Like this trapdoor that can rotate to reveal a skeleton wearing enchanted armor behind it. But I feel like I'm missing too much of the build to try and confidently build this, so I'm just going to set this to the side and get started on reinforcing the base, and see if I can't start building the upper section to this build. And with the upper section of this build assembled, it's time to figure out how to make this little stalagmite dropper. And just like that, my grade 5 education came back again. You can tell the difference between a stalagmite and a stalactite because stalactites have to hang on tight to the ceiling. Therefore, these are stalactites and not stalagmites. When doing these builds the instructionless way, I tend to learn a lot of things, so I thought it'd be fun if you yourself could learn something too. And once I've built the first stalactite, it's a matter of doing the same thing again to get the second one. And with those 2 complete, all I have to do now is finish the slider mechanism so that I can drop them whenever I want. It's not the smoothest sliding action, but it works. And now that this upper section is built out a little bit more, I think we can return back to the lower cave section and see if we can't build up the walls to attach the upper section to it. The thing I'm still not sure about is how exactly to configure the pieces to make it so everything can rotate smoothly. Also, my cat has decided to make another guest appearance. The thing that really has me stumped with this rotating wall piece is I'm trying to figure out a configuration that allows me to rotate it without getting snagged on any of the walls, while making it look like the same wall once you've rotated it to reveal the skeleton on the inside. And after some trial and error, I landed on a look that I like, and I'm going to stick with this. I think my cat also agrees with me on this one. And now that I have this corner part of the build assembled, I can figure out how tall I need to make these walls in order to attach the upper section to it securely. I was pretty close in my original approximation. I'm just off by a brick or two, and once I add this section over here to connect the waterfall, things are really starting to come together. And would you look at that? Oh no, not again! And after taking some time to reflect on this, I'm not too happy with how this corner piece looks. I think I can do it better with less pieces, and I'm also not a fan of how this rotating plate keeps catching on the other plate, so I need to raise it up by a little bit. I'm also going to add these extra pieces to the side of the cave to make it so when this trapdoor swings around, it looks more organic and is flush with the rest of the cave. Right now, when you turn the door, it kind of catches on some of these pieces, but I'm hoping that once I attach the upper section, it'll help make everything a lot more sturdy and will stop catching on these bricks. Last minute though, I decided to actually take off the top section and add this smooth 1x4 plate to the top of the swinging door, and oh boy was that a mistake. The piece that's giving me so much trouble that I have to have an off-screen fight with it is the rotating piece at the top of the spinning door. No matter what I do, I just can't get it to connect to the piece above it, and it was a real hassle. And the next problem I'm having with this section is the giant gap at the bottom that is so big it feels like you could fall through it. But luckily for me, I have these two very extra long plates that I can attach to the bottom and seal it up. And now I'd like to revisit this mob spawner, because right now nothing about it is actually secured into place. So I'd like to find a way to secure the spinning part, as well as the actual mob spawner itself, so that everything just stays in place. And after adding a 1x2 brick with a hole in the middle and a 1x2 plate, everything functions very smoothly. And since we're approaching the end of the build, it's time to do a little bit of landscaping to add some shrubs and other details, like grass and some torches. I really like scenic builds like this because it's always a treat to add all the details and see everything really start to come to life. And now that I finished this part of the build, I can't help but look at the waterfall and feel like it's too tall. If I just rip this piece off, I can make the adjustments I need, but in order to do so, I really have to cause a mighty earthquake to this build. At this point, I keep breaking things over and over again, and it kind of feels like this, to be honest. At least now I know of some weak points I can fix with some extra plates to reinforce them. And then I get to move back to the cave section to add some more details to help fill it in a little bit more and give it that Minecraft flair. Now I just need to add the chest with goodies and some extra moss for a little bit of flair. And with that, I'd say this build is complete. And all we have left is this wonderful little pile of goodies. It always surprises me when the build looks this good and there's this many pieces left over. And there you have it, another LEGO set built entirely without instructions. It was a challenging but rewarding experience, and I'm very happy with how the build turned out. I hope you enjoyed the video, and until next time, happy building!